What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled Why Nobody Lives in Wyoming, which I watched so many state videos that everything's still kind of like a big blur to me. Like I don't really remember which characteristics each state has, but in my brain I thought Wyoming was like super peaceful, like I would love to live there, but apparently nobody lives there. I'm guessing somebody lives there, so if you're in Wyoming, let me know in the comments below. But let's see what this video is about.
Wyoming has the smallest population of any U.S. state? Well, it does. In fact, the whole state of Wyoming has a population that is 14 times smaller than just the city of New York, 7 times smaller than Los Angeles.
14 times smaller than the city of New York doesn't sound that small though.
And 5 times smaller than Chicago. Now, some states have small populations simply because of their landmass is so limited, and yet the nation's smallest states of Rhode Island and Delaware still offer populations that are more than double Wyoming's. And Wyoming is the 10th largest state by area anyway.
I mean, look at that. It's so pretty. Why would you not live in Wyoming is the question.
So its tiny population of 578,000 residents, the smallest population of any U.S. state by far, seems almost ridiculous for a state that is about 11 times larger than New Jersey.
True.
The area we now know as Wyoming was first inhabited by Native Americans thousands of years ago. However, Wyoming's history as part of America officially started when the Wyoming Territory was carved out of Utah, Delaware, and Idaho back in 1868. With much of Wyoming's landmass being initially acquired by the United States as part of the Louisiana Purchase. See, Wyoming is a part of the American West.
I mean, look at it. It's lovely. I mean, this video is not why you wouldn't want to live in Wyoming, because we already watched we also watched the video on why you wouldn't want to live in certain states, but why is Wyoming not expanding more though then? Because there's a lot of land.
And it was also included in the famous Oregon Trail, which played a major role in establishing the west coast of the United States. However, Wyoming didn't become a U.S. state until July 20th, 1890. Believe it or not, limited population was actually the reason it took so long for Wyoming to be granted statehood back then. That's because the U.S. government required at least 60,000 residents for territories to become states. So it wasn't until Joseph Carey, Wyoming's delegate at the time, overstated the territory's population that Wyoming was able to convince Congress to make it the 44th state of America. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why Wyoming has always struggled with its population, and frankly, I think there are several reasons the cowboy state has always had such limited population size. See, the thing is, Wyoming never attracted significant settlement in the beginning because it had a difficult climate and complicated geography, as Wyoming is a dry state with harsh, cold and snowy winters and rugged mountainous terrain, and also, from the very beginning…
Is it like hot in the summertime though? I'm intrigued. It's so beautiful though. Amazing. I mean, imagine having a little… Is that a house? I don't know if that's a house, but imagine having a little hut over here. Perfection.
State with harsh, cold and snowy winters and rugged mountainous terrain, and also, from the very beginning, the U.S. government, energy, and railroad companies held major portions of the usable land there. So after more than a century of existing as a state with limited settlement and city building…
Wow, that looks kind of insane. What is that? Are there actually houses that are like triangular shaped? That's so cool. And look at this. It definitely looks like you could park your horse here. I love it.
The state of Wyoming had become more of a pass-through and resource center than a residential destination. Because sure, there are people who want to live in nature with incredible scenery and grand open spaces. However, the majority of Americans seem to prefer access to amenities, attractions, and opportunities. And even the biggest city in the state of Wyoming, Cheyenne, has a very modest population of 65,000 residents and very few amenities, attractions, or opportunities. We will talk more about Cheyenne in just a moment, but keep in mind that the state's other big cities are even smaller. Casper has 58,000 residents, Gillette has 32,000 residents, and Laramie, the state's 4th largest city, has just 31,000 residents. Back to Cheyenne, with a metropolitan population of 100,000 residents, it isn't just the state's largest city, it's also the capital of Wyoming. And Cheyenne is a charmingly
even though the amount of people sounds like it's very little, but then you look at it like this and it's still like you wouldn't know everyone who lives there, right? Could you get to know everyone who lives there if there's 70,000 people? No, you could not. But interesting.
Safe city with low unemployment and more economic opportunity than anywhere else in the state. It's even the home of Taco John's, Greenhouse Data, and the Sierra Trading Post. Cheyenne has a median
Taco John's, I'm sold. Tacos? I like tacos.
Household income of $68,000 and a median home price of $369,000. In fact, Cheyenne is growing at a rate of about 2% each year, easily above the national average. Now, while Cheyenne is growing at a healthy rate, the state of Wyoming on the whole is hardly growing at all, which makes little sense when you consider that Wyoming has no state income tax, a growing energy employment sector, and Wyoming has become a major tourism destination thanks to its world-renowned skiing, hiking, and kayaking. To a point where most of Yellowstone National Park, America's very first national park, is located in the state of Wyoming, which furthers the state's draw to visitors looking for an escape from the congestion and crowding of big cities. Now, another thing to keep in mind about Wyoming's limited population size, though, is that the state isn't exactly begging for new residents either, as Wyoming is one of the few states running at a surplus, with billions of dollars held in rainy day funds and an energy economy that keeps growing, while the people of Wyoming also seem quite content with all the extra space and the relaxed pace of life there, something that can only really exist in places like Wyoming, where there are just 5.85 people per square mile.
You don't go west to...
Why does it still sound like quite a lot of people to me? Look at that. That looks beautiful.
compromise.
I like riding horses. I would love it there. I would just go to the store, the grocery store, everywhere with my horse. Do you do that in Wyoming? Is that a thing? Can you? Can I take my horse anywhere?
Or make yourself more comfortable. No. You don't go west to settle down. Or hurry up. Or draw a crowd. Because the truth lies west. And it's time to discover yours.
Was that an advertisement to move to Wyoming? I don't mind Wyoming. I think it looks very nice. I would move there. I wouldn't mind. I don't think I'm a city person. I think I'm not sure yet. But I'm pretty sure I'm not a city person. I think I would want my space. But you guys let me know. Have you ever been to Wyoming? What was it like? Have you lived there? Do you live there? Do you take your horse to the grocery store? And thank you for joining me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.